Hi guys, good day to everyone on my TikTok page. My topic today will be, I will be talking about some great aspects of my country of birth, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is known as a twin island nation located in the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago has several great aspects. Some of these great aspects, some of these notable features of Trinidad and Tobago are cultural diversity. From Indo-Trinidadians to Afro-Trinidadians to Chinese and to Europeans. Trinidad and Tobago is known of its various cuisines, from roti to pilau to curry to doubles. Trinidad and Tobago is also known as, within the world, the carnival, which is well known, famous and vibrant. From the music to the costumes. I myself partake in carnival earlier this year in the month of February. I had a grand time. I felt safe. In every corner, there was law enforcement. In the carnival, I wore a costume. I wore a costume. And I danced on the street and I embraced my culture. I felt happy. Trinidad and Tobago is also known for ecotourism. Biodiversity. It is known to have a range of a flower called the flora fauna. Trinidad and Tobago has a great hospitality for welcoming tourists. Although I am quite aware of the crime rates that exceed some other countries within the Caribbean. As of today, the crime rate is very much high, and I acknowledge that. Inflation has risen, where supply of goods and services has increased, and the purchasing power of money has decreased. Whereas back in the old time days, where you could have used $100 and you could have purchased a large amount of food, unlike today, $100, the value of $100 in Trinidad and Tobago is very much low. So therefore, it will be considered inflation. Now, inflation can be measured by using CPI, Customer Price Index. And while I know that the food prices and the cost of living can be categorized as inflation, and also the high crime rate, I also want to look at the great aspects of Trinidad and Tobago. I myself was born and raised there and migrated here in the US a few years ago. But I want the people in my country, to know that let's embrace the good parts of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's embrace it. From the Pitch Lake. Trinidad and Tobago is also the birth of the steel pan. I just want to talk about the good things, the good aspects of Trinidad and Tobago. While I am not negating the fact that there is a high crime rate, there is inflation. While I acknowledge that over the years, the cost of living has risen. But I want to advise the people who live there to plant their own foods. Haley, come here. Come here. Come. I want to advise people to plant their own foods. Planting foods will be very much healthier for them. Knowing that Trinidad is a Caribbean island, and the soil down there is rich, and they can utilize the soil and utilize their hands and plant plant your own fruits and vegetables. That can be one of the factors which can help you to sustain survival. While we acknowledge that food prices is high, there's a rise in food prices, you can plant your own fruits and vegetables to help sustain you. Right? Now, I acknowledge the fact that a lot of people are very much overwhelmed. A lot of people are going through the field of depression and anxiety because of the cost of living and because of the high crime rate down there. And I sympathize with you all. But I want people to know that you first need to take care of your mental health. You know, mental health is very much important. And when I speak about mental health, I'm not saying that, you know, you have to be diagnosed with schizophrenia or you have to be diagnosed with bipolar depression. But when I talk about mental health has a whole multifaceted approach. It has a whole multifaceted spectrum, whereas you're not only looking at one aspect of mental health where there is a dysfunction in the brain, but you are looking at people who can be diagnosed with mental health. They can be individuals who are abusing alcohol, who are abusing narcotics, individuals who are going through a psychological disorder, who are experiencing anxiety. And there is a stigma that surrounds mental health. When people will hear someone say that they're experiencing depression, they think that they are crazy. But when people are living in a society where inflation exists, where crime rate is risen, a lot of people within that society will experience feeling anxiety, will experience feeling depressed. And I want to advise people in my country to keep yourself occupied, whereas you keep yourself doing positive things. What are the positive things that you can do? You can enroll yourself back into school. Now, the education system down there is free. From the universities to the adult schools, they are free. I know that the government has removed certain free programs, but I believe that there are still programs available for you as the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to utilize. What you need to do is do your research. As of today, I don't have any information where these programs are concerned, but you can do your research and there should be programs available in your community where you can join and where you can utilize and where you can able to not only earn a certificate but earn some type of skills where you can use to survive. Right? I understand that a lot of people are unemployed. I understand and I sympathize with the situation that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. I want you all to know that not only Trinidad and Tobago is experiencing inflation, not only Trinidad and Tobago is experiencing this, but inflation is global. It's a global crisis. After the pandemic, a lot of countries have experienced inflation, whereas the bills has increased, the food prices has increased, where a lot of people now are homeless here in the U.S. As I look out my apartment building, there are people sleeping on the streets. A lot of people have lost their jobs. They have become unemployed. So I want the people of Trinidad and Tobago to know that not only you are experiencing poverty, not only you are experiencing an economy that seems like one person cannot survive in it, but I want you to know that it's a global crisis. And the only how you can survive where a global crisis is concerned is to either you change your job field, your career field. If you are working in a job that is not paying you sufficient amount of money to survive or sustain you, therefore you need to change your career field. Go back to school, learn a trade. Now we know that the world moving forward is all about artificial intelligence, AI. We know that one day scientists are saying that they would be taking the consciousness of a human and inputting it into a robot. Transhumanism. Okay? We know that one day AI, the artificial intelligence, these robots will be taking over some of our jobs. And we know that the IT department will need then when that time comes, the IT department, the technology department will have a high demand for workers who can work in technology. So, you know, I will advise people to learn, you know, IT, to learn computers, knowing that the way moving forward, where AI is concerned, artificial intelligence, they will have a demand for people who are qualified and who has their credentials for the IT department. Okay? So that's all I have to say for now. Last night I joined a panel with a few Trinidadians, and some of them were expressing, you know, what is happening with the economy down there. They talked about the government. And while we know that the government, they are responsible for putting things in place to help the citizens of that country, and I do agree, but sometimes we have to look at things in a holistic approach. Now, Trinidad and Tobago is a democracy, whereas the people, they vote for that prime minister to be appointed. Unlike here in the US, yes, the citizens of the United States, they go out and vote, but at the end of the day, the electoral college, the members make that decision to appoint the president. So the United States is not a democracy. Trinidad and Tobago is a democracy. We, the people, vote to appoint the next prime minister there. So therefore, my advice to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, for the next election, you vote for the candidate that you think that will change the situation from inflation to a stable economy. Vote for a candidate who will increase the minimum wage. As of today, the minimum wage in Trinidad and Tobago is $17.50. How can one survive on a minimum wage of $17.50 when the price of goods and services has increased? There is no one can survive like that. That is a very much unstable economy. $17.50 an hour, where food prices are increasing, if not daily, within months, 3 or 2 months, however the case may be. The cost of living is high. Therefore, Trinidad and Tobago needs to become a stable economy. Right? So you are the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You are going out there to vote. The next election, I heard, is in the year 2025. Vote for the right candidate. Appoint the prime minister who is going to allow Trinidad to become a stable economy, who will make the crime rate reduce, who will appoint the various candidates who will able to do the job to change this situation, who will, the candidate, the prime minister, who will open programs and institutions for the people of Trinidad and Tobago to utilize. At one point, Trinidad and Tobago was a leading was one of the wealthiest Caribbean country of all times. Was one of the. As of today, Trinidad and Tobago is no longer one of the wealthiest countries. Okay? The economy has changed tremendously. And I can only hope that one day things will be better. I want the people of my country, Trinidad and Tobago, to have hope. Have hope and have faith. And just remember, whenever you feel sad in the environment of Trinidad and Tobago, whenever you feel sad, just remember the good aspects of our country. Embrace it. Embrace the culture. The culture is very much diverse. It's very much diverse. Now we have people from Venezuela living in Trinidad and Tobago. So not only we have Indo-Trinidadians, Afro-Trinidadians, Chinese, some Europeans, but we also have Venezuelans. So Trinidad is very much diverse, and the cuisines will be burritos and tacos. And with the Indian, their cuisine will be roti, bus-up shot, and curry. But all of that cuisine, melted pot culture just come together. Let's embrace everyone. Okay, so you all have a beautiful day. And just remember, while I do acknowledge the issues that surround Trinidad and Tobago, I want the people of my country to know that let's look at the positivity. Let's believe and have faith that one day things will be better. Okay, so you all have a beautiful day, and bye.